Hello. If you're getting a copy of a link to this video, it's because you've opted in for therapy with my therapist and with myself. So this is just a confidence builder if you've never been for therapy before, or a reminder of how my therapy and my practice may be different than what you have experienced before. So let's begin. And what does therapy look like? And as you already know, everything I do is within the cognitive behavioral model. The techniques that I use is psychoanalytical talk theory, and I also interweave that with EMDR and hypnosis when desired and required where it's helpful. Okay, so let's get started. So the new client consultation, which has come and gone, was a time to answer any questions about therapy, but not do therapy. So during these sessions, we don't take a lot of information. So what we need to do now is get you into the system, get you registered so that you can book appointments and do what you need to do. And also a big part of signing up for therapy are to do the correct intake forms, which we'll go through next. So the intake process. The intake process is a combination of manual stuff and other items that need to be taken care of inside the system. I have a very automated system that uses a piece of software called Jane, which does a lot of very amazing things, and I do use it. So the intake process will ask you for some more contact information, and there will be a series of intake forms. And the intake forms are a combination of just basic screening assessments as well as consent forms. The consent forms are very important. I've got to get you to sign those before we actually start therapy, because that tells everybody that everybody's on board and we know what we're doing. And that is when we can actually get into the details of the treatment plan and additional larger assessments that may address issues like ADHD and autism and bipolars and personality screeners after that. Okay, so that will be done. Now, what will a treatment plan look like? We talked a little bit during the new client consultation about what a new treatment plan would look like. A lot of people who have been for therapy before, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, have done a lot of talk therapy. I'm an active mind therapist, so it's a little bit different. So talk therapy is still available on my site. If that's what you're interested in, then just book the life coaching, because in life coaching, EMDR and hypnosis is optional, and we just stick to the basics. Those can be booked every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the frequency that you feel is appropriate for you. However, those of you who are opting in for a more complex treatment plan that involves EMDR and hypnosis, you're going to have a little bit of a different way of scheduling in, and it has to do with flexibility. So this is generally how it rolls out, not every time, because every client is different. Hundreds of clients can come through and every client will be different. But this is the approximate pattern that registering takes. Session number 1 will be starting on a date that you decide. And that is, we take client history and preparation. The client history and preparation for EMDR and hypnosis is a little different than just a normal client intake. And I will give you lots of homework to do, because we can either do this ahead of time and save you time and save you a lot of money. And it takes the form of a lot of narrative therapy, where I have you fill out some very creative, fun journals, and some very reflective information will come back. And then what we do is I review it, and I use that information to set up your scripts and work with your EMDR, and making sure that I stay respectful and mindful to where you're going. And then during this time, we also set a set of concrete goals that we can work on. If assessments are involved, then we book another session just to do the assessment review and to review the results. Usually what we do in that same session is we will test and see if you have adequate calming skills. The ability to calm yourself down. Should we hit a bump in the road during our processing, I need to know that we can actually bring you down, because I need every session to have that beautiful soft landing so that you don't leave a session upset, that you're quiet, you're reserved, and you are prepared to go on with your day or your week. That's how I operate. So the sessions sometimes may go over 15 or 20 minutes. I'll let you know to be respectful of your time. And it's much better that if we're this close from the end and we just have a little bit of time left, I will proceed rather than say 50 minutes is up, an hour is up, we're done. I choose and prefer not to work that way. So let me know if you're on a timeline. EMDR and hypnosis, we start with your goals and we set it up using a network. So what usually happens now is by the time we get to the meat of our therapy, which is EMDR and hypnosis, is we check in a day or two later. If you're okay, we cancel that. Then what we can do is pick up the same network and continue on. And if you're okay, 2 days later, we cancel that one. And then eventually you will probably, most likely, opt in for every 2 weeks. And then we'll go every 3 weeks. And then we'll go every 4 weeks. And then the treatment plan gracefully exits. The reason this is necessary is because once we spend our time together in therapy, that's a kickstart. Our hour or our hour and a half is done, but for the next few days or the next few weeks, your head remains processing. We need to check in between. There will be homework. And I need to know that you're okay. And I need to know how far you're processing. And I have another video, which I will give you, which addresses what you do in between these particular sessions. But expect your calendar to look like this, a little more flexible. Now, booking appointments. Because there's summer, there's family, there's life, and things happen, the system does a lot of really great things. So I use the system to manage our time together, my time and your time. Once you get set up in the system, you will have an opportunity to go through all of the menus that you will see. You can actually get a list of your current appointments, your past appointments, your histories. Most importantly, there's an opportunity for you to do any intakes. It's really important that you respond to all the emails that the system sends you, because those are the emails that I'm sending you. If the work we did the week before spawns the need for another assessment or a check-in, I will send it to you through here. You can log in and you can complete the assessment. It'll tell me when you're done. I do this to save time and I do this to save money, because a lot of this work, if it's not done, we really can't proceed. So it's best that you keep an eye on it. So the other thing too is if I'm sharing any documents with you, you will see them here. Unfortunately, you cannot upload documents. It's part of the security protocol that nobody does that. But I will make any documents that you need to see available here. All right. And then, of course, there's an opportunity in here to add additional contact information. If you are a parent of a child or there's someone else in therapy with us, there's a relationship here, but the records are kept separate for privacy and confidentiality reasons. And it's just a really good idea to make sure that you understand how to use the system. You can set your password and your frequency of your notifications and things of that nature. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say right now, just so that you know basically how I operate. And if you need any information getting in and out of the system, by all means, just email me at linda@my-therapist.ca. That is a business email, so don't be shy about using it. It is not my personal email, and it is not an emergency email. So feel free to use it. Do not try to avoid sending any confidential information back and forth by email. As you can see, I have a system that keeps all that information locked up and secure. Okay, so good luck, and I really look forward to our time together. Bye.